Hello, welcome back to the game room. I've been doing a lot of different things to this game room over the years, and a lot of it was the result of experimentation, and I like to try out new ideas. Even though I should be satisfied with what I have here, my mind keeps ticking and I keep thinking of other things to do to this room. Lately, I've been thinking about these little square sticky things and how they could be used for something in this room. I first ordered these because I was trying to use them to stick up some acoustic paneling in the corner of the room over there, because there's been an echo in this room and I've been trying to dampen it a little bit. It totally did not work for that. Those panels fell down to the ground. They would not stick to these things. So what I ended up doing is using nails to put them into the wall. I started thinking of other things to do with these squares, and it dawned on me that why not just hang some games on the wall like this? It may be the dumbest idea I've ever thought of, or it could turn out to be cool. I don't know. We'll see. But there is a good argument for doing it, and that is so that you can enjoy the artwork that's on these games. Normally, you don't get to see it because it's tucked away on a shelf. I mean, you get to see it when you first buy it, but they put a lot of work into this artwork, and it would be nice to see it more often, and it might even bring more appreciation to the games themselves. So then again, these could just fall off the wall and I could end up damaging the wall. We're gonna see what happens. I think I'm also going to be able to put some other things on the wall, like controllers and potentially a system or two. So let's see what happens. Here's the part of the room where I want to try hanging some games. Do you think I have enough red? That Gradius poster has some problems with the frame, so I'm going to take it down and then find some other place to hang it up later. Next, I'm going to prep the walls so the stickers can stick. That's a passionate gamer right there. For those of you who aren't familiar with these squares, they're basically tiny foam boards with sticky residue on both sides. There's plenty of companies that make these squares, so you can get them for cheap.
3 squares? You can't spare 3 squares? No, I don't have a square to spare.
I intend on only hanging new games, like for the PS4 and the Switch. They could fall off the wall and get damaged, so I'd rather have that happen to a newer game than an expensive retro game. Plus, the newer ones are super light, so they have a better chance of staying on the wall. I'm now going to clean the backs of them, and then I'm going to lay them out to dry. Next, I'll need to figure out exactly where they're going to go and what kind of pattern to use. I really want to put them tightly packed together like this, but that'll make it hard to get the games out of the cases when I need them. Yes, you heard it right, I am going to keep the games inside the cases. I don't want to have a separate place to store the games, they'll end up getting lost or something. I also set up a testing area in the other room. One thing I wanted to know is where's the best place to place the sticker on the back? Do I want to put it in the middle of the back of the case, or do I want to put it at the top of the back of the case? As it turns out, putting it at the top creates an uneven gap along the back, more so than putting it in the center. I also experimented with removal, and it's pretty tough to do. This Mario Kart did not want to come off. When I finally did get it off, I ended up damaging the back of it a little bit. The PS4 game came off just fine. It was also tough to remove the sticker from the wall itself, and even after you peel it off, there's still some residue, but I managed to get it 100% off, and there was no damage to the wall. I only had it there for a day. I imagine the bond would have been tighter if it had been there for a year. The manufacturer recommends putting the sticker on the wall first, then waiting a half hour to allow for full bondage, and then placing the item onto the square. I'm not going to do it that way though. It's going to be much easier to place the game exactly where I need to put it if I place it on the back of the game first. As I do this, I'm going to take the discs out of the PS4 cases, because I'm going to need to press down in the middle of them very hard, so the disc might pop out and fall on the floor. I proceeded with the delicate work. I used a leveler sometimes, but I mostly went by sight. While I was doing this, I realized there was an opportunity to dress up the end of this closet sidewall with some small game cases. So I went and got some DS games and hung them. I realize it's hard to see some of these games because of the reflections from the lights. It was very hard to record. So far so good. None of the games have fallen, and I managed to get them pretty straight. I even hung up one of my digital games. Now I'm going to turn my attention to this other wall. I'm going to try hanging up a game system, just to see what it looks like. I don't intend on keeping it there. I'll probably be putting that Gradius poster back up in this spot. So what kind of game system would stick well to the wall? It would need to have at least one flat side, and preferably not be too heavy. Let's do the Ouya. Fun fact, I bought this Ouya in store at Target during the initial public launch. I'm very reluctant to put it on the wall, but it's rather light, so I'm thinking it'll do just fine. At this point, I've gotten an idea of how strong the pads are. To be sure though, I'm going to place 2 pads on the back. Actually, less than 2. I'm having to cut one in order to make them both fit. Well, there's one life goal complete. Honestly though, it's going to go back on the shelf, so now I'm just going to remove it. Crap. The joke's on me now, it took off a piece of the wall. Specifically, it took off the paint and the outer layer of the drywall. This is something I'll have to attend to later. I'll probably just patch it up and repaint it. I had planned on putting other things up, like controllers and other game systems, but at this point, I don't want to do any more damage to the wall. If you're going to do this, just make sure you're going to leave the things up and not take them right down afterward. As for the games, I'm going to leave them up. It seems kind of strange to have them on the wall like that, but I'm getting used to it. One thing that did occur to me while doing this is there might be other ways to get the same kind of look without having to use the sticky pads. There could be some kind of see-through shelving out there that holds the games snugly against the wall. Something like this shelving I use for my handhelds. Speaking of handhelds, I ranked all handhelds and regular consoles on one giant list of 84 systems recently, first to last. Which rank did I give the Ouya? Click the link to find out. I'm Kevin with Gaming the Systems, and I approve this message.